Hey guys, today we're going to be drawing a messy hair bun. I'm using the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil and the Procreate app. If you're new to Procreate, I also have a video called 25 Procreate Tips and Tricks, which I suggest to watch first because as I draw, I'll be using these shortcut actions. I will link that video below. So grab your favorite tea or coffee and let's start drawing. So I've already got this sketch done and I can link the sketch in the description below if you want to download it. So first thing we're going to do is add a new layer. And I'm gonna grab a brown, just like a dark brown, and this will be the base of the hair color. And then we're gonna grab our airbrush, and I just wanna put my sketch all the way to the top. And then we're gonna work on the color layer underneath. I'm just gonna duplicate my sketch layer because I wanna make this white, because it's kind of hard to see what we're doing. So I've got my second layer created. We're gonna go to the adjustments tool, hue, saturation, brightness, and then we're gonna bring it all the way up. So now we got a white version and a black version, and I'm just gonna merge them together. And then I'm just gonna decrease the opacity, just like that. All right, next we're gonna go and create a new layer above the base hair color. And then in our disc, we're gonna select just a lighter shade. And then now the fun part comes, we can go into our hair brushes, and I will also link below where to get these hair brushes. So I'm just gonna pick a, I don't know, maybe strands thin. And then we're just gonna be lightly applying some brush strokes. So we wanna go in the direction of these guides, the sketch guides. And the reason you can see I didn't go all the way to the edge with the airbrush is because you want some hair strokes at the end or at the edges so that it looks realistic. I'm just gonna try another brush here. It's called the Soft Flow. All right, next we're gonna create another layer. So for each layer that we're creating, we're gonna be changing the color. And then we're gonna be grabbing a lighter shade again. And then we're gonna put some more highlights. Now you can also experiment with the different hair brushes. And you kind of want to leave a little bit of shadow in some parts just to create some depth. Okay, let me just turn off the sketch layer. And so far, that's what we're left with. So next we're gonna create another layer and we're gonna go lighter again. And then I'm gonna switch up my brush, maybe to the strands loose. And you can see here, you kind of want to leave these parts dark because it's a shadow. So the hair is being tucked underneath. I'm just going to go back to the base layer and just clean that up a little bit. And And I'm also going to be just using the same color as the base. And I'm going to put some hair strokes so that it doesn't look too blurry. So the trick is to build this up in layers. We're gonna go and create another layer. And I'm just gonna go lighter than that last color. So if I use my finger and just hold the color, it'll pop up in the color palette. And from there, we can select an even lighter color and then create a new layer. And we could put a little bit more highlights. And if you find that there is just a bit too much contrast, you can just take your eraser with an airbrush and just lightly erase the edges. If you're using an Apple Pencil, obviously you can take advantage of the pressure sensitivity and just press harder or lighter. And the highlights are usually concentrated in the middle of the strand. So as you go obviously deeper into the hair, it's going to get darker. And then we're going to select just a slightly darker shade, maybe even just the original one we went with right here. And this time we're going to select either the strand round or the lock. So let's try the strand round. Let's just see how that looks. And here is the lock. So I'm gonna pick the lock instead because it's kind of thin. And I'm gonna go back to the base layer. And we're just gonna put some hair strands, just like kind of flyaway hair, so it looks a little bit more realistic. Because usually with messy buns like this, it's more of a wispy type of look. Now, if only I could get my hair to look this nice. Now we're literally just like throwing on pieces of hair wherever the edges are. All right, so there's your hair. You can, continue on if you really want to, draw the neck and a shirt, but I'm going to leave it here for now. And I just want to quickly show you if you want to change the color of this hair. We're going to merge all of this. So we're going to swipe only the hair layers. Just keep in mind that my sketch is still at the top, so I'm going to leave that there. And we're going to group this. So the hair is just one group, and then I'm going to duplicate this again just because I want this as a backup. So here is our new group of hair, and what we're going to do is alpha lock each and every single layer. So click it and hit alpha lock. And what alpha lock does, you'll see a transparent little I guess these little squares in the background represent that it's transparent. So basically you're only going to be able to color what you have already drawn, and it's not going to color outside of those colors. So maybe this girl's a blonde. So we're going to start at the base layer, and let me just untick everything. So usually blondes would have a dark undertone of, I'm just gonna select something like that. And we're gonna grab our airbrush. And we're just going to color the entire thing. And again, work up to the next layer. We're going to grab this color, and then we're going to go slightly lighter. Might have to go a bit lighter than that. Maybe even a bit lighter. And then the third layer, again, lighter. And then we're going to keep doing this as we go up. Now I'm almost out of white. Okay, so here is your blonde version. You can do this with black, you can do this with red, you can do this with any color, you can do it with blue. Now, there's another way you can also do this. I'm going to just turn off this layer here. We're gonna go back to the original. I'm gonna duplicate this entire group, but this time I'm gonna merge it. So I'm gonna click on the layer group and hit flatten. So now it's just one layer. So I can change this entire thing just by going into hue, saturation, brightness. Now just keep in mind it's changing the entire layer, and you can't really pick, I guess, the shades that you want to do in each layer. And you can make it dark or light. So I'm just going to undo that. There's also another way, just go into color balance, and this way you can play with the different values. And again, keep in mind it's doing the entire thing, which is why it kind of looks a little bit funny and lots of contrast is happening. But if you want to turn this into a black, you can go to hue, saturation, brightness, and we're going to desaturate the entire thing. And there is your black hair. But as you can see, there's lots of contrast. So my method that I prefer is just to go through each individual layer. That way you can customize what shade you want to do. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to draw a messy hair bun. For more drawing tutorials and gadget reviews, be sure to subscribe to Draw with Marina.